As the dust settled from the Battle of Arsuf in September 1191, the Crusader army, led by the indomitable Richard the Lionheart, fixed its gaze on the coastal jewel of Jaffa. This city was to be their coveted base of operations, the launching point for their audacious dream of recapturing Jerusalem from the formidable grasp of Saladin. But a cruel winter loomed, chilling both the weather and the prospects for the Crusaders. Negotiations between Richard and Saladin meandered like a tempestuous sea, offering no immediate respite from the storm of conflict. In the shadowy background, disturbing reports began to reach Richard concerning the activities of his brother John and the French king, Philip Augustus. As spring's vibrant colors faded into the relentless summer sun, a fateful realization loomed large. Richard would soon be compelled to depart for his homeland, leaving the future of the Crusades hanging in the balance. With the campaigning season of 1191 drawing to a close, it seemed as though the drive on Jerusalem would have to wait until another year. The Third Crusade, which had shown such promise in the wake of the Battle of Arsuf, faced uncertainty and complexity, much like the shifting sands of the Holy Land itself. By the summer of 1192, the Levantine War had devolved into a bitter stalemate. The forces of Christendom and Islam had clashed repeatedly, each side refusing to yield a decisive victory. On the fateful date of July 5th, 1192, Richard the Lionheart, with a heavy heart and the realization that Jerusalem remained elusive, commenced his withdrawal from the sacred soil. As the echoes of his departure resonated through the land, the shadow of change descended upon the Levant. In the wake of Richard's retreating steps, Saladin, ever astute and ever watchful, seized the opportunity. He laid siege to the strategic city of Jaffa, which had served as the linchpin for Richard's previous campaigns. The fate of the Holy Land now hung in the balance, teetering between two titans of history. After 3 grueling days of relentless clashes, the walls of Jaffa fell to Saladin's forces. The city, which had been the stronghold of Crusader operations, was now in the hands of the Ayyubids. News of this seismic shift in the balance of power reached Richard, igniting a fire of resolve within him. In swift response, he rallied a modest force and made haste back to the Levantine theater. The arrival of Richard's reinforcements struck terror into the hearts of Saladin's army, who feared that this was but the vanguard of a much larger, decisive army on its way to reclaim Jaffa. As Richard's forces surged forth, they encountered Saladin's fleeing soldiers who, in their panic, sought to escape the retribution of the Lionheart's fury. The echoes of battle, a cacophony of clashing steel, gave way to the frenetic sounds of retreating men, as the fortunes of Jaffa shifted yet again in this turbulent tale of conquest and reconquest. As dawn painted the sky on August 4th, the quiet surrounding Jaffa was shattered by the unseen tension of impending conflict. Saladin, spurred by reports of approaching Franks, devised a bold counterattack to reclaim Jaffa before the anticipated reinforcements could tip the scales. Muslim troops, their movements concealed in the fields, awaited the opportune moment to strike. In the hushed moments before sunrise, a Genoese soldier's stroll inadvertently unraveled Saladin's plan. The soldier's keen senses detected the telltale signs of the enemy, neighing horses and glints of armor. Swiftly, the alarm was raised, setting the stage for a clash that would echo through history. Richard, ever the tactician, swiftly organized his forces. Knights, infantry, and crossbowmen formed a formidable defensive formation. Infantry, including unmounted knights, created a protective hedge of spears by kneeling and driving shields and spear shafts into the ground. Crossbowmen, working in pairs, unleashed a relentless barrier from behind this shielded wall. Sharp tent pegs jutted from the ground, a deterrent against the charging horsemen. Richard, with a handful of mounted knights held in reserve, stood ready at the rear. The Ayyubid cavalry, lightly armored and drawn from Turkish, Egyptian, and Bedouin ranks, launched repeated charges. Yet, the Crusaders, resolute and disciplined, refused to yield. The Muslim cavalry, unable to break the steadfast Crusader ranks, veered away from the spears, avoiding direct confrontation. Each Ayyubid assault, however, incurred heavy losses from the relentless hail of crossbow bolts. The Franks, encased in armor more resilient to Saracen arrows than vice versa, withstood the storm. Saladin's cavalry, entirely mounted and vulnerable to missile fire, faced exhaustion. After hours of relentless assault, both sides wearied. The Ayyubid cavalry, demoralized and with exhausted mounts, faced a turning point, a charge led by Richard and a handful of mounted knights supported by spearmen. By evening, Saladin, acknowledging the sound defeat of his forces, issued the order to withdraw. The toll of the battle was starkly contrasted. Saladin's forces suffered 700 dead and lost 1,500 horses, while the Crusaders counted only 2 dead, albeit with many wounded. However, the reliability of these figures, typical of medieval battles, remains a matter of historical scrutiny. Leaving their fallen on the field, the weary Ayyubid force embarked on a long march back to Jerusalem. Saladin, ever vigilant, reinforced the city's defenses, anticipating the Lionheart's potential advance. The Battle of Jaffa had unfolded as a pivotal chapter in the ebb and flow of the Third Crusade, a testament to Richard's strategic prowess and Saladin's resilient leadership. The repulse from Jaffa marked a turning point, signaling the conclusion of Saladin's counteroffensive. The relentless clashes had left both sides utterly drained, and the once prosperous land of Palestine now lay in ruins. Adding to the challenges, Richard the Lionheart, the indomitable leader of the Crusaders, succumbed to a serious illness shortly after the intense fighting at Jaffa. In the aftermath, a 3-year truce was meticulously negotiated. Ascalon, a strategic stronghold, saw its defenses raised and was returned to Saladin. A significant portion of the coastal territory, stretching from Tyre to Jaffa, remained under Christian control. Saladin retained his grip on Jerusalem, but a pivotal provision allowed Christian pilgrims the freedom to visit the Holy City. The retention of Jaffa emerged as a linchpin for the Crusader kingdom, providing a stronghold to reconsolidate control over the coastal lands of Palestine. The bustling city of Acre became the new capital, a testament to the resilience of the Crusaders in the face of adversity. Having fought tirelessly in the Holy Land for 16 months, the Lionheart made a decisive decision to depart for Europe on October 9, 1192. Meanwhile, Saladin continued to rule his empire for another half-year, breathing his last on March 3, 1193. This stalwart defender of Islam found his final resting place in the Grand Mosque at Damascus, where his legacy endures to this day. The echoes of their conflict lingered, shaping the intricate tapestry of history in the Holy Land.
On this channel, we are putting together narrative historical cinematic battles. Make sure to subscribe and thank you for watching. See you on the next one.